Here, 25 organ of speech and the function. 1. Lungs or paru-paru. The function of the lung is the source of air currents, which is an absolute requirement of the currents of language sound. 2. Trachea or batang tenggorokan. The function of trachea, or usually called one-pipe trachea, is to produce the sound of glottalization, namely the accompanying sound produced by closing the glottis after the main sound is pronounced, so that the sound of accompaniment is heard. For example, the sound T and the word what is heard as sound, so it's pronounced as what. 3. Larynx or pangkal tenggorokan. The function of the larynx is to protect the sound production produced by the vocal cord. The work of this larynx results in the grouping of language sound into voiceless sound and voiceless sound. 4. Vocal cord or pita suara. The main function of the vocal cord is as a valve door that regulates the control of airflow between the lungs and the mouth or nose, and is an important component in producing speech and singing. The vocal cord can open wide or close. Their function as a valve to regulate the passage of air from the lung as it passes through the throat. 5. Cricoid or cricoid. The cricoid function as a conduit for air from the lungs. This cavity can open and close too. Here, 6. 25 organ or of speech and the function. Thyroid function to regulate the metabolic rate by flowing with the blood and triggering cell to convert more glucose. Here, 7. 25 epiglottis or speech epiglottis and the function. Its main function is to flex over the larynx or voice box, which the dormant areas during swallow. Here, this prevents food from getting into the throat. Speech and the function. 8. Pharynx or lungs rongga kerongkongan or paru-paru. The pharynx function as an air tube which will vibrate when the vocal cord vibrates. 6. Arytenoid or arytenoid. Lungs. Arytenoids are a pair of three-sided small pyramids that are part of the larynx, to which the vocal cord are repeated, to which the vocal folds are attached. Its function allows and assists the movement of the vocal cords. They allow the vocal cord to tense up, relax, or be approached. 1. Lungs, 10, or the roof of the tongue, or akar lidah. The function of the tongue root in the formation of language sound is always an active articulator, that is, a moving articulator, or paru-paru. 11. Back of the tongue or pangkal lidah organ of speech. The back of the tongue produce the following sounds such as paru-paru. First, those filler sound produced by the back of the tongue, dorsum, and the soft palate and the phylum. Example of sound J and G. Paru-paru. 2. The sound of the uvula. Here, that sound produced by the back of the tongue and uvula, for example, the sound Q.
Lungs
3.
or
The sound produced by the back of the tongue and subpalate.
hair.
Example,
25 organ
sound.
of speech and the function.
4. Narrowing
1.
the pharyngeal
Lungs
wall
or
and base
paru-paru.
of tongue. I repeat,
Hair.
narrowing of the
25
pharyngeal wall
organ
and back of
speech
tongue.
and the function.
Example, H sound.
1. Lungs
12.
paru-paru.
Middle of the tongue or tengah lidah. The
Hair.
middle of the tongue
25
produces several
organ
types of staple
speech
sound,
and the function.
such as fizz, stop
lungs
sound, or
or
popping sound.
paru-paru.
A sound that is produced with S stopping completely
Hair.
and releasing
25
suddenly.
organ
Example,
of speech
P
and the function.
and P sound.
1. Lungs
Second,
or
letter or
paru-paru.
side sound. The sound that produced with air through the
Hair.
side
25 organ
of the tongue, blocking the
speech
escape of
and the
air.
function.
3. Vibrating
lungs
sound
or
is the
paru-paru.
sound produced by vibrating air in the mouth, which
Hair.
is caused by the
25
vibrator of the
organ
tongue.
of speech
Example,
and the function.
R sound.
1.
4.
Lungs
Produce a sound
or
N
paru-paru.
with the help of heart sealing. 13.
Hair.
Blade
25
of tongue
organ
or
of speech and
down
the
lidah.
function.
I repeat,
1.
13.
Lungs
Blade
or
of tongue
paru-paru.
or down lidah. Function
Hair.
blade of tongue
25
are usually
organ
called lamin
speech
or
and the
laminal
function.
to produce sound
1.
like
Lungs
fierce
or
lamio-alveolar. It's the sound produced by the tongue
hair.
and the back
25 organ
and the
of
alveolum.
speech and the
Example
function.
of the sound
1.
S.
Lungs or
Second,
paru-paru.
narrowing of the tongue and a
Hair.
gentle arch
25
S
organ
and
of
Z.
speech and the function.
14. The
1.
tip of the tongue
Lungs
or ujung
or
lidah.
paru-paru.
The tip of the tongue function
Hair.
to produce
25
explosive consonant
organ
produced
of
by
speech
inhibiting
and the
air
function.
and then being popped by the
1.
articulator.
Lungs or
15.
paru-paru.
Uvula or anapteka.
Hair.
It serves
25
to
organ
produce the sound
of
of the
speech
uvula,
and the
which
function.
is swallowed by the back
1.
of the tongue.
Lungs
For example,
or
Q
paru-paru.
and R on clear sound.
Hair. 25 organ
16.
of speech
Soft
and the
plate
function.
or langit-langit lunak.
1. Lungs
The
or
function of
paru-paru.
soft plate as the formation of language sound.
hair.
The soft plate
25
is also
speech
used
and the
when we
function.
speak, especially
1.
in a word that
Lungs
start and end
or
with n,
paru-paru.
as in the word playing. 17.
Hair.
Heart plate
25 organ
langit-langit
of
keras.
speech and
The
the
heart
function.
plate function to produce the
1.
following sound
Lungs
like
or
fierce,
paru-paru.
apicopalatal sound, the sound
Hair.
produced by the tip of the
25
tongue and heart
organ
plate.
of speech and the function.
When the tip
1.
of tongue is flipped
Lungs
backward, the sound
or
produced is a
paru-paru.
retroflex sound. Example, the D sound.
Hair. 25
Second,
organ
Laminopalatal
of speech
sound.
and the function.
The sound produced by the
1.
lamina and heart plate.
Lungs
Example,
paru-paru.
C and J sound. 18.
Hair.
Alveolum or
25
lengkung kaki gigi.
organ of speech and the function.
Alveolum, usually
1.
called arch
Lungs
of teeth
or
organs or alveolar function to produce
Hair.
sound sound like
25 organ
first,
of
alveolar,
speech in the
interdental, or dental.
1.
When the sound of
Lungs
word produced by the
or
tip of the tongue
paru-paru.
with the curved area of the tooth, such as
Here,
T,
25
T,
organ of
and
speech and the function.
sound.
1.
Second,
Lungs or paru-paru.
alveolo-palatal sound. The sound produced by the tip of
Here,
the tongue and the base
25
of the
organ
teeth,
of
such
speech
as the
and the
sound
function.
N.
1.
19.
Lungs
Upper teeth or gigi
paru-paru.
atas. Upper teeth play an important role in the
Here,
formation of language
25
sound.
organ
Example of
speech
sound
and the function.
that are produced by upper teeth,
Lungs
such as
or paru-paru.
first, the language sound produced by the upper teeth
Here,
and lower teeth
25
is called
organ
the dental
of
sound.
speech and the function.
Second, the
1.
language sound produced by
Lungs
the upper teeth
or
and
paru-paru.
lower lip is called labiodental. Third,
Here,
the sound of language
25
produced by the
organ
upper teeth
of speech
and tip
and the
of the
function.
tongue is called the
1.
apicodental sound.
Lungs or
20.
paru-paru.
Lower teeth or gigi bawah.
Here,
Lower teeth function to
25
produce
organ
sound like
of speech
A,
and the function.
labiodontal,
1.
that
Lungs
produced by
or
lower lip
paru-paru.
and tip of upper teeth. For example, F sound,
Here, 25 organ
dental.
of speech and the
The
function.
sound that produced by the teeth
1.
or blade of the
Lungs
tongue
or
touches or
paru-paru.
approaches the upper front teeth. 21.
Here,
Upper lip
25
or
organ
bibir
of
atas
speech and the function.
serve to produce the following
1.
sound like
Lungs
first,
or
vowels, sound produced with L with type of staple.
Here,
Example,
25
A,
organ
I,
of speech
and a U
and the
sound.
function.
Second,
1.
consonant
lungs
sound
or
is the sound
paru-paru.
produced by air experiences resistance. Example,
Here,
B
25
and D
organ
sound.
of speech and the
3.
function.
I
1.
repeat it again.
Lungs
Third,
or
blocking
paru-paru.
sound or blocking
Here,
sound
25 organ
is the
of
sound
speech
that produced
and the
by
function.
lips or closes.
lungs
The
or
channel to the nasal
paru-paru.
cavity is closed, then the valve of the lip is opened suddenly.
Here,
For
25
example,
organ
P and
of
B
speech
sound.
and the function.
22.
1.
Lower lips
Lungs
or labium
paru-paru.
or bibir bawah. Functioning
Here,
as a vowel
25
forming sound.
organ
If
of
the lips
speech
are
and the
rounded,
function.
there will be a
1.
vowel U
Lungs
or
paru-paru.
I repeat it again. Function as a vowel forming sound. If the
Here,
lips are rounded,
25
there will
organ
be a vowel
of
U.
speech and the
If
function.
the lips are semi-round, there is a
Lungs
vowel O.
or paru-paru.
If the lips are neutral, then there will be a vowel A.
Here, 25 organ of speech and the
23.
function.
Mouth or
1.
mulut
Lungs
serve as
or
an articulator.
paru-paru.
Articulator is a speech tool that touch or
Here,
bring it closer
25
together to
organ
form language sound.
of speech and the function.
24. Oral cavity
1.
or rongga
Lungs
mulut
or
serve to
paru-paru.
produce oral sound. 25.
Here,
Nasal cavity
25
or
organ
rongga hidung.
of speech
Nasal
and the
cavity
function.
function to produce nasal
1.
sound.
Lungs or paru-paru.